Alrighty, so I'm up a little bit earlier than I'm used to being, so that way we can go over the patch notes. I tried not to be spoiled, but unfortunately the page is it pretty much loaded with it on there, so I see who it is. Um, so let's go over these new patch notes, I guess. If you're new to the channel or anything, feel free to subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, I don't know. I just woke up, so let's do this. So obviously, we are getting a new Cusack, who is, I guess I don't know what to call him. Like, I mean, we call the other one just Demon Chandler, right? But I mean, they're already demons, so highest ranking demon Cusack is here, of course. He does work in the sub slot actually, which is kind of nice. I'm always interested in new sub slot units. He is blue also, so for all enemies participating in battle, reduces their crit rate by 20% and crit damage by 30% for every demon race ally participating in battle. Increases demon race allies attack related stats by 4%. Okay, so that's I think that's already immediately better than the Chandler, unfortunately. I think just because I guess it works, like this top part works already, like for all enemies participating in battle, their crit rate and crit damage are reduced, which that's a pretty hefty cut to crit rate and crit damage as well. Because I would imagine if 3 people are on the battlefield, then that's immediately a 60% crit rate cut and a 90% crit damage cut. So that's actually going to be so big. Okay, I mean, I main demons. I like demon teams, so it's not a big deal. Like, I'm happy to get some good support for the team, of course. But okay, all right, I like that. I think. And then we have a single target pierce card, which is probably going to hit pretty hard, because if it's anything like Rimaru's, which I guess it's really hard to compare stuff to Rimaru, because Rimaru also had the AoE Infect card that hits pretty hard, and everybody was like, oh, Zeldris has got an AoE Infect card, and it is bad. Like, it does not hit the same. So I think a lot of that has to do with stats, of course, but alrighty. Inflicts damage equal to 350% of attack on all enemies, decreases crit chance by 100% for 2 turns. Okay, so it's a debuff card. Hopefully it works at level 1, because that's not like an insane, debuff. It's not like that. It's not like that needs to be level 2 to be a debuff, as far as I'm concerned. The fact that it's an AoE means that you could potentially run him up front and get, some extra darkness stacks out with the team. I don't know why, but my mind immediately goes to, hey, it's a debuff card, and it's AoE, which means you can use it with Philo, but I don't know if that's going to be the best option. But still very interesting. AoE single target, or no, AoE single target, weak point single target ultimate, which is pretty interesting. I think this is the same ultimate, if I'm not mistaken, as Hendrickson? Hendrickson? Right? Is that weak point AoE, or a weak point single target? I think it is. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the single target ults, I guess, because the meta has become so insane. I guess if they force the meta to go back to more single target ultimates, it kind of will even itself out. But very interesting. I was kind of expecting a Ragnarok unit. I put out a poll last night before I went to bed, and it seemed like a lot of people were expecting Ragnarok. But yeah, so we have, looks like a pretty good banner. We have red Tarmiel, we have green Sariel, a couple of the Ragnarok units. We have Jormungand, we have Freyr, of course. They're being extremely generous with Freyr, which is fantastic, because he's a very useful character. I don't necessarily use him as much for like his, I guess, designed purpose of being on the dogs. Like I do run him on the dogs team or whatever, but I don't run the dogs a whole lot because it's terrible. But he is so good for OG Demon and everything. So if you get a couple of copies of him, big win. And then the rest of this is okay-ish. They don't really put Red Hawk and Oslo on a whole lot of banners. I thought Red Hawk and Oslo was considered to be a seasonal unit. But I don't think that this is a seasonal banner, really. But I love Red Hawk and Oslo. Probably one of my favorite units in the game. So, kind of cool, if I'm being honest. And then Awakened Mono is also kind of nice as well. So, actually, a pretty good banner. From my perspective, I think that this is pretty good. Like, some of these Ragnarok units are some of the better ones. The blue Elat's very, like, niche, but if you don't have her, then it's kind of a nice unit to pull, I guess. Valenti's kind of meh. New outfits, of course, for him, which these look good. I love... This one looks so good. Plague Doctor stuff to me is always very cool looking for some reason, so that's kind of cool. It's a little bit more, like, of a casual outfit, so I'm probably not going to want to use it. Let's see. And then, of course, he has the SSR... What are these called? Just blue demons? The little, like, the weird bird demons or whatever. He has a themed outfit for that. You can now level up ultimate skills multiple times. Okay, so a little bit of a quality of life change there. If you have more than one coin, you can kind of just, you know, keep clicking on it, I guess. Very nice. I thought this was going to be, there's multiple ways to level up your ultimate, and I was about to be like, whoa, because that would have been game-changing. Leonis Festival. Oh, I think this is what, it's not the Fireworks Festival, it's Bartra's birthday or whatever. They've done this before, but it's fine, I guess. It's just a bunch of free rewards, really, more than anything. It's not a bad thing. Another Ghost Leg event, or, well, I say another. It's been a while since we've had a Ghost Leg event, but I do not like Ghost Leg events. Ghost Leg events are not good. They are really annoying, and you get very minimal rewards for the time that it takes to do the event. But whatever, I guess. And see, the rewards really aren't that great. Like, the best thing you can get, basically, is an SSR pendant. And that's it. Demonic Beast Battle. They're bringing back Crocshell, who is one of the most annoying bosses in the game. So that ought to be fun. I don't know if there's been any, like, significant units that have come out to make this a lot easier, because the overall gimmick, if you're unaware, is you have to put on a ton of ignite stacks on him to actually be able to get through his sort of passive. And without Kyo, it's a really hard time. So, not really a huge... I love the design of the character and everything like that. I love that, but he as a whole, like, mechanic-wise, kind of a yikes. But you actually get to set up two teams, and they did some really, like, interesting stuff with it as far as I'm concerned. So I do like it a lot, but just the whole ignite stack thing is really bringing it down. Oh, Lord, I see it. You see it? Oh, Lord, I see it. It was on the banner for the Grand Cross database, so I already kind of knew it was coming, but good rewards, it looks like. Nothing too crazy. Final boss, Tarmiel. Look at that, man. Oh, boy. And I would imagine it works, yeah, for both of the Tarmiels. What a banger outfit, man! They did such a good job with Sariel, and it's honestly, if I'm just being honest, it literally is kind of like a 1-for-1 copy of the Sariel one with some, you know, minor tweaks here and there, but it fits the theme. They're kind of going with the theme, and I can dig it because it's a good theme and it looks good and I like it, so I'm not gonna complain. Honestly, really, really great. Loving it. That is a great costume. So, it looks like you get, I imagine this is the outfit. So it looks like you're going to get the headpiece, which I doubt I use that headpiece. I like the way that these look, but a lot of the times whenever units have these, like, big, bulky, like, rings and things behind them, like, it kind of, like, I guarantee it's going to clip into his wings and stuff like that, and it's going to bother me, so I'm just probably going to give him, like, a normal haircut. I don't even use the I use the Sariel haircut for red Sariel, but not green Sariel, just because I wanted them to look a little bit different. But I don't know. The rings always look weird to me, so probably not going to use the haircut. But it looks like you get the weapon piece and the outfit piece during the season, and then you'll probably get the haircut itself from the placement rewards. So looking like a pretty good update, honestly. I mean, we have a new final boss, so that'll give you some good rewards. Hopefully it's not super grindy. Unfortunately, they are always terrible about making it to where, oh, you can only buy so many of these out of the shop at in one day. So like you can't just you're basically just gonna have to grind the final boss like a million times and then make sure you check the shop every day if that's how they end up doing it again. But yeah, and then I'm sure Croc Shell's probably going to have a limited amount of times that you can run him per day, probably 3 or 5. That seems to be the normal. Ghost Leg event's fine. These are fine. These are just like little missions where you get small stuff here and there, so nothing crazy. And then of course a new banner. So it looks like we're getting a pretty decent like little chunk of events and stuff like that. And of course the final boss, Tarmiel one is pretty cool. So definitely interested. We'll grab this unit whenever he comes out, which will be Tuesday for Global. If you're unaware, they do JP updates on Thursdays, so this is coming out tomorrow for them, and then we will get it coming on our next banner week, which will be the update on Tuesday. So yeah, I will leave it there, I guess. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions of Cusack and everything are. Let me know what you like about him. If you maybe you hate him, maybe you don't like Cusack. It is what it is. And then final boss Tarmiel looks so good. So that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one.